Braun, Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yep.
Confirmation of appropriate meeting notice.
Meeting was noticed on Friday, April 16th. Agendas were posted at the Post Office, Library, and City Hall.
Thank you. Next item is Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Swearing in of newly elected council members.
So if you don't mind, I think I'll do both of you at one time. Is that all right with you? If you will come.
Yeah. The two Davises then. I don't mind being sworn in with Mr. Davis. You're supposed to say the same.
Yes, I'm gonna do the same. Okay, yours will be better than mine.
So if I can have you raise your right hand. Having been elected to the office of City of Edgerton Alderpersons on April 6, 2021, do you swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office to the best of your ability, so help you God? If so, please respond, I will.
I will.
Congratulations. I'm going to need you each to sign your oath for me.
Okay.
I know.
We got the book going around.
Thank you, Cindy.
He's just checking with Sarah, so see if she's coming.
Oh, did she write it in?
Well, I guess I signed the public here.
Yes.
Okay.
You're the top dog, Mayor. Sign at the top.
Just looks like a line underneath the date here.
You don't wanna be that guy. Right?
No, we weren't in person last year.
Okay, well, it's kind of hoping Sarah would show up before we got too far here, but
We can swear her later.
what? What'd you say, Jim?
I said we can always swear to her later. I mean, swear her in later.
Oh, about there, okay. Yeah, Jim can do that.
Wouldn't be the first. No, never mind.
Okay, the next item is elect council president. Is there any nominations?
Did you guys flip the switch? Sorry. I just heard something.
Cheers.
All right, don't sit down, I've got to swear you in.
All right, where am I going out here?
Yep.
Up front and center.
Right.
So raise your right hand. Having been elected to the office of City of Edgerton Alderperson on April 6, 2021, do you swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office to the best of your ability, so help you God? If so, please respond, I will.
I will.
Congratulations.
Okay, back to the elect council president. Any nominations?
Nominate Candy Davis for president.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a nomination for Candy. Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? And is there any other nominations? Okay, the motion is to elect Candy Davis as council president. We don't need any discussion on that, do we?
Yeah, I think so. No, never mind.
Okay, roll call.
Flanagan. Braun.
Yes.
Andy Davis.
I suppose I should abstain.
Shaw.
Yes.
Paul Davis.
Yes.
Burdick.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one abstention. Congratulations.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Candy.
Hopefully it'll be like last year. Mary, you never missed a meeting.
I was just gonna say, I might cut for that here.
God, we can only hope. I mean, good, no.
Hard for me on vacation.
Okay, the next item is to consider committee, commission, and contractual appointments. Couple things, like to do the committees and commissions all together, if that's okay with everybody, we'll do the contracts separately, if everyone's good with that. And then on page 1 of the appointment list, forgot to take Paul Davis off as alternate down on number 2 on the zoning board. We don't have any council members on zoning, so scratch Paul there, we'll have to find somebody to fill that spot. And then on page 4, historic preservation, in the vacant spot, I have Andrew Nelson. He's a teacher up at the school that's interested in covering that spot, so. And then there is the one opening on planning, plus the alternate spot on zoning. And if there's anybody that is not happy with what they've got or would like something different, you can discuss it amongst yourself here and we can rearrange if necessary.
Hey, Chris?
I'll be in your mailbox. Jim?
Oh, hey, I'm sorry, who did you say you added to historical? Andrew
Nelson?
Nelson, okay, thanks.
Ann Nelson or
Andrew.
Andrew, okay.
Okay, thanks.
5th grade teacher.
He lives on First Street. He's from Stoughton.
A
And
name like Nelson, you'd think I'd know that.
married to Emily Young Nelson, Howie and Jess's daughter,
Oh, okay,
Emily?
sure,
her husband.
okay, good.
They live in a really old historic Edgerton house.
Oh, good,
Says something for that committee, so.
yes.
And I believe it's right next door to the Sears house. One of the Sears catalog houses, is right next door to it.
Right next to Barberry Lane. Right across.
I'm sorry, what?
Across
Oh, okay,
Was there?
Oh,
that's okay, I have one, she needed one.
I just wanted to make sure my address got updated.
Oh, they're updated, oh no, yeah, up at the top, 2020, those dates aren't
Sure.
updated yet.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think you're still in all the same spots, Sarah.
Yeah, no, my address on the last one wasn't updated. I just, yep, we're good now. We're good to go now.
Okay.
It's just what I wanted. Wendy had said that it would be on the permanent one, and I just wanted to make sure.
We need a motion to pass as amended?
That would work with the Andrew Nelson amendment and Paul Davis taking off on zoning.
Correct. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion?
They look good, Mayor. You put a lot of time into this, so thank you for that.
Well, pretty easy, I didn't move anybody. You guys get to put the time in. Okay, if there's no further discussion, roll call.
Burdick,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes,
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. And then we have the contractual appointments.
sorry, Sarah, I missed that page.
yeah, there were no changes made on here, correct? From last year?
No.
Motion to approve as recommended.
Oh, I see. That's okay.
I'll second.
I wasn't sure what you're talking about, Cindy.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Burdick,
Excuse me, yes?
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next one is consider mayor's appointment for chairperson of zoning board of appeals. And Dave Maynard's been doing that for a couple years, 5, 6, 10, a while. I'll nominate Dave as the zoning board.
Second.
That's a nomination. You gotta approve my nomination.
Oh, well, forget it.
Well, you
I'll
can,
make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I have a question.
Okay.
Forgive my ignorance, but I'm fairly new.
No way, really?
Why do we specify that chairperson here instead of the committee electing their own chairperson?
Good
I
question.
think we
As
did that
another
asked before.
By statute.
I'm sorry?
By statute?
It is, okay.
Stuck with that decision, but, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Burdick,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes,
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes. Next one is consider mayor's appointment of elected representative and citizen at large to joint review board. Jim, you did that this last year. I'd like to nominate you for that again, if you're okay with it.
Well, if you're not pulling me off, I guess I am.
I didn't understand what you said.
I didn't either, but I'm gonna make a motion.
Oh. We're gonna have to blame all this on Corona, guys. I'm sorry. It,
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve you as the elected representative. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes,
Braun,
Yes.
Langen, Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
yes.
Motion passes. The other citizen at large, I'd like to nominate John Paulson to be reappointed to that.
motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Candy Davis,
Yes,
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Motion passes. Okay, the next item, staff to present a brief overview of the new Edgerton Council handbook.
So I just had handed that out. It's got a little longer than I thought, 67 pages, but I thought it was just a good resource for just kind of a council conduct, how to minutes, open meetings. On page 20 is the organizational chart for the city. Page 28 is like a simplified Robert's rules for making motions and how to amend motions. Page 43 talks about minutes and how the council minutes are called action minutes. So they basically are written to convey a brief summary of the discussion of actions taken by the council. So I know we've talked about, making amendments to motion or to minutes about, reports we've given, but the gist of minutes, at least from everything I read, are more an understanding of how the council actually came to a decision or how they came about the action they took. So it's your minutes, you can add more, but that's the basics of minutes.
One quick question on that. How
Yes.
long do we retain the recorded meeting?
The council are actually on YouTube, and we have them for, at least I think 4 or 5 years back.
So if somebody really wants the detail, they can.
Yes,
look
the
at them.
recordings of the council minutes are on YouTube, and we've got our own account, yeah. And then I just wanted to also note on page 47, the section on open meeting and open records, so kind of explains what walking forums are, what negative forums are, so just kind of the highlights. But if you see anything that you have questions on or it doesn't make sense, let me know, because it's our first draft through this, so we'll try to keep up to date and as current as we can. That's all I have.
This is very nice. Without even going through everything, it's just nice to have.
It's
Good,
yeah,
thank
it's
you.
more of a guide, but if you really can't sleep, it put you to sleep. And then in addition, with that, I handed out the League's Local Government 101 class. They're doing webinars, and you can actually select, do it all in one day, or you can select to do different sections at different days. So anyone that's interested in signing up for that, let us know. We'll sign up and take the registration.
Only
That's
the
all I
one,
have.
only the one choice of where to go to them in person? Just the
Yeah, they just have
the
one in
Wapaka
person.
one? Okay.
Yep, otherwise, May and there's one in June of webinars, so, you could take an hour or two on one webinar and an hour and two on another, so you wouldn't have to tie up a full day.
Thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm gonna guess where this is coming from, Cindy, and it wasn't totally meant to be that way, but when I bring up my stuff, it's just because I make good notes on stuff. So yeah, no, you stress it's just a brief summary. The minutes are just a brief summary and stuff. I understand why some of the reports are left out or some of the things are left out. As long as we keep records of everything else, that's fine. I mean, I'm good with it. I didn't mean to be bringing those up in the past as far as things being left out, but so I understand what you're saying. I'm good with it, in other words.
Thanks, Jim. Just
Yeah.
one of the things we've never discussed or never had a time for, so.
Right. But I'm used to making a lot of notes and looking back and seeing the minutes and looking for different things and, so my bad, we're good. Thanks.
I think though, last year we had a question about when somebody would question on how they meant to mean to come across instead of how it was written. I think that's probably more where this comes from, I would think. So because you're not saying, we shouldn't kind of question or say, I don't think this is right.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
we definitely want,
Right.
want the minutes to be accurate. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just a matter of how brief we want it to be or how much we want it entered. So I agree with you, Cindy. Thanks.
Okay, anyone else on that item? Let's move on to consider policies for the 2021 pool operations. We have a memo here. Ann, do you have anything you want to present, or we just let you run it the way you do the best, so?
We did a lot of legwork last year with networking and getting things, all the policies and procedures set up for it. And things went, bless you.
Thank you.
Things went really well, and we opened up on July 1st. And even though we were a month short on our season, I just took a look at numbers, and we were only down about 3,000 people compared to other 5-year average, which I thought because we were the only pool open in Round County, things went really well. So now that we're in phase 2 still from last year, I think that we should do things very similar. Like I'll still have the same like cleaning procedures and protocols and trainings and things like that. I do want to, because we didn't reach the 50% capacity ever, and that's what the thing, the protocol is for being in phase 2, that we have to limit that. Which is 346 people. We never met that last year, and so I would like to offer season passes this year, except I think that if we leave it unlimited, I would like it to be limited to just one time per day that they can use it in the session, so they can go to session 1 or session 2. That's how we set it up last year, was sessions, instead of being unlimited. I don't know if we can, like, if that would work, but I mean, I do put in my notes on my brochure that things are subject to change. So I mean, if it doesn't work, or if it does and we find that we're not like reaching that capacity, maybe we can offer it unlimited, just like we would for everything else.
I think that that's a good idea and worth a try. I know that some of the feedback I got was that it was all positive, but the one thing people missed was the season passes. So it'll be nice if we could incorporate that again, I think.
Right. The other thing I'd like to do is to offer swimming lessons, because I think that's really important for kids to learn how to swim. I've been doing a lot of networking, trying to figure it out, and one of the things that I'd like to do is with swim lessons is to have parents be in the water for levels 1 and 2, which are the really little ones, where they're learning how to put their face in and doing the different strokes in the front float and back float, only because I don't want my guards to be dealing with kids really close up, and sometimes they have lots of extra mucus and all kinds of things. So I know that that's going to be a really touchy thing for parents, but if I can at least offer lessons and give that option, it doesn't have to be a parent. If it would be somebody who's responsible, like, you know, even if it's, I don't know, a nanny or, you know, an older sibling that's willing to work with the kid, I don't have a problem with like who's in the water, as long as they're going to work with the kid and are responsible to do that. The other thing is to, with not swim lessons, adult swim and aerobics, I think I should offer the same things. That was a really popular thing last year. And the Sign Up Genius worked really well, except for some people signing up for more than 1 session per day, but it ended up working out really well. So I would like to keep that. And then also keeping all our fees the same, just because we're still in the COVID issue, that I don't think we should be charging more. We want to get people out and enjoying the outdoors.
You had mentioned other food options in your memo. What would those be apart from the prepackaged options?
Yeah, so last year we only offered all prepackaged things. I mean, I take a look at, there's restaurants open and everything else, so I think that we could at least offer maybe like pretzels and cheese and nachos and maybe some popcorn, maybe a hot dog, but not go to all the extent of, you know, like walking tacos and hamburgers and all that other stuff, but do some minor things.
Okay.
You also had stayed here, changing your sessions from 3.5 hours to 3 hours.
Oh, I forgot to mention that, sorry.
So what's the purpose of that, Ann?
One is just because to be honest, I'm really struggling to make sure that I have enough people.
Okay.
So hiring enough staff. I came up and picked up applications and I'm really low on new people. And some of my returning people didn't come back because Evansville's gonna be opening. So I had 4 or 5 people from Evansville working for me and now they're not. The other is to just make it easier for scheduling purposes, like when I have pool rentals, I overlapped, or I shouldn't say overlapped. We ended at 6 o'clock with the evening swim and then the rental started at 6 o'clock. So there wasn't time.
Mm-hmm.
People were kind of leery because they didn't think that we did enough cleaning, even though I had people doing it when we were still open, so.
Good. My other question is, what are you proposing for opening?
I have June 6th, which I always open on the first Sunday in June.
Okay,
And so that would be that, and then I always close on the last Saturday in August, and so I have it through August 28th.
okay.
Because that way I have Sunday to do the shutdown stuff, so that my people going back to college and me back to work. We don't have
And I just like to say, in my opinion, you did a fantastic job last year with everything that you were challenged with. And from all my observations and all my visits, and I know I ran into you and many a times down there, you did great. So I mean, it's great that what you did, and you did a lot of studying on what you're proposing for this year. And I think you've done a fantastic job of looking into everything and proposing what you're proposing. So I'm kind of on board with what you're doing, in case you couldn't tell. So thank you for what you've done.
Thank you so much.
Great. We got some good feedback. Nice job.
So my question was, do we have to even approve this, or do we, like we did last year, let Ann run it the way she did because it worked out so well? There's nothing here that's changing dollar amounts.
I would say we just have to go with the backing of the council to what she's proposing. What do you think, Ramona?
Yeah, I mean, if you make a motion, I would hope that your motion would then also give the latitude that Ann needs to run the
Right.
show, because that's what she's gonna need. Because we don't need to be calling special council meetings to address a swim lesson. So I don't think a motion is necessary, as long as there's an understanding that these are the changes we've brought to you. And Ann's gonna watch, everything that's going on, and certainly keep you up to speed as to what decisions are happening down there. And if she feels she wants the backing of you, we can do that. We can get your approval, but we need to leave flexibility because we don't know what the summer's gonna be.
Sounds like just like last year, so. And as Jim said, and we've all noticed, it worked out, I think, better than most have ever expected with
I would
what you
agree.
did down there, so.
I know there was a lot of uncertainty with deciding what exactly we should do, what was appropriate, what was inappropriate, should we even open? And I think that it worked out very well, and it was done safely, and everybody in the community was grateful that there was something to do. So I think I feel totally comfortable. Do what you need to do.
And again, Ann, it's your expertise and you've done a great job. So I feel very comfortable leaving it in your hands.
Okay, so we considered it, we're leaving it in Ann's hands, so.
Okay. Thank you
Again,
so much.
and thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ann.
Next item is to discuss.
Yes, thank you.
Next,
Okay, I'm on a time delay. I'm 1,000 miles away. What can I say?
I still don't understand what you're saying. Jim, you talking to us?
I said, I'm 1,000 miles away. I'm a little time delay, so give me a break.
Okay, the next item is discuss changing the term for mayor to 3 years. Couple couple numbers here.
Who the heck's idea is that? No, I'm sorry.
Those, one prepared by staff explaining the logistics of how a charter ordinance like this works. The second one from myself and Alderman Burdick on more of the why and the benefits for doing so. So I guess I'd like to just start by talking about the why we're bringing this forward. It's good policy that really achieves two worthy goals. For the mayor, and for anyone in this room, I mean, we all know things take time to achieve. So in a 2-year term for a mayor, for a good chunk of that first year, you're working under your predecessor's budget. You're also, most of your appointees to all the committees were also made by the previous mayor. So, you know, you hardly have time to really make your mark in that position before you're almost running for re-election in, you know, the next year. Jim, you can add on to this. One of the parts that Jim really wanted to stress with this is a really good change, especially for someone who's new to the mayor's position. And that isn't something we've had a lot of in Edgerton. We've had mayors who've served good long terms, and there's great consistency with that, and that serves us well. But that may not always be the case, that we have someone who serves for, you know, many subsequent terms. So there's a lot to learn in that first term as mayor, whether you've been a council member or especially if not. But either way, there's a big learning curve there that would have to take place. And that's another good reason to extend the length of a mayor's term. The second part of it is it does make it a bit more, it's more equitable for council members. As you all know, half of us are elected in odd number of years, half in even, and the mayor currently also is elected in the even number of years. So half of the council hypothetically has a free run at being the mayor without ever giving up their council seat. Now, here's where the caveat is. The others, yes, they can run. Yes, you can run for both. You know, in researching this, there are states where you can't run for both a council and a mayor position, but here you can. But I think that's troublesome two ways. I don't think it's good. A good public servant wants the city to create the situation where you spur a costly special election if you won both seats and declined one. As staff noted, we could, a council can appoint, in that situation, there wouldn't have to be a special election, but I'm personally not for, you know, appointing for a 2-year term because someone caused that to happen. So I don't think either situations are good when someone runs for both seats.
It's not good for the candidate either. I did it 11 years ago. It's a lot of work.
It would be a lot of work, yeah.
It's confusing to the electorate too.
I was just gonna say that, it's confusing too, to
They
the,
don't realize
community.
you can win both seats, so you may get votes taken away on one position
right,
because they figure they can't vote for you in both of them, and saw that happen in the past too, so.
Yep.
It would make it a little different for
Yeah,
the odd years then for
right.
someone sitting in this seat.
So this does not change the term that Mayor Lund go into effect for the April 22 election, and then the next time we would have a mayor election would be April 25 instead of 24. So just like we wouldn't, you know, approve a pay raise for the council that affects us. It's always for the next term out. This kind of follows that same path. Jim, I made one of the points I know you wanted to really stress. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I just want to emphasize what you were saying is that the emphasis is really on the fact that there's really, from what we're pointing out, is no real downside to doing this. I mean, if you look at it, and there's the extra year has a lot of upsides. I mean, like as Casey said, the learning curve. A new mayor, if were to come up a new mayor, as far as having time to show what she or he can do, you know, since working off of someone else's budget or someone else's committee appointments and whatnot, you know, they've only got a half a term to show what they can do before they're up again. So, you know, let's face it.
I would also throw in there that,
You know, to come off of somebody else's agenda. So,
sorry, Jim.
oh, I lost you.
Depending on what's going on in the city as far as growth and development,
Correct. There's a lot of issues, you know, that they're working off of. As a guy coming in for 2 years out of, you know, and running again the next year, come on, you know, I mean, so, and it hasn't been an issue so much, you know, of late, but there's always the potential, you know, that it's going to be there. And why wouldn't we want to give a new mayor or any mayor, you know, the chance to prove, you know, what they can do now, or what to themselves, you know, to us, and what they can do, or to rebut anything that comes up in that 1 year or 2 years, you know, in between, you know, to what they can do for the, you know, within the extra year. It gives them a lot of extra time. I mean, it's only 12 months, but it's a lot of extra time when you think of it, an extra 33% of the time to show what they can do for the city. And bring their own agenda, their own, obviously they got elected for their agenda, so, well, you would think. So why wouldn't we give them the chance to prove it instead of just 1 year, basically?
well, and depending on what's going on, some large acquisitions, projects, development takes more than a couple years, maybe from start to finish, right, to go through. So it would be nice to see that same person be able to continue to see something through the end. Hopefully they would. Hopefully it wouldn't take too much longer than 3 years. But, you know, sometimes it takes that length of time, and it would be nice to have that continuance with the mayor.
Yes.
To see something through.
Yes.
And there may be a council that's completely against anything the person wants to do, but the people elected them for some reason, so maybe it would take a couple terms to change council members to make things manageable and move the city where we want it to.
Okay, quick question, guys. Was I on mute that whole time?
No.
Or did you hear me? Okay.
Hear you. Sounds like you're rolling around with something down
We
there.
can hear you when you shuffle papers and when you move your chair and we.
Oh, okay, because my phone went to mute and I'm like, oops.
I personally also like this idea mainly for avoiding the need to have a special election or appoint. That whole process that we had to do for the other seat in District 2 is not a process I really want to do again at all.
Unless we have to. I mean,
Yes.
if somebody has to.
Right,
leave or-
but, you know.
Sure. But why help to initiate it? Yeah.
It could still happen. You know.
Right.
Right,
People each year could be somebody that wants to run, and it's your year that you're up for your council seat and want to run for mayor. So it still could happen, but
there's one less scenario where it might happen,
where
which is okay with me.
it'll give you a chance to not have to give up your seat if you did run and on the odd year, so.
So we wanted to just bring this up as a discussion point. We thought it was maybe a little drastic to have its first reading tonight and then be voting. So we just wanted discussion. it's first reading. I'm not hearing a lot of, objection from other council members, so a timetable is laid out here in the memo from Cindy as to, it's 3 readings, which is a little different than what we the typical 2 that we have with an ordinance change, so if there's any other questions or anything, I think I appreciate the city's memo on this process, because it is a little complex, especially that last paragraph about the within 60 days. So anyway, that's all laid out there.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
It's not, and just so everybody's aware, it's not Casey or I's intent to do this so that we can run next year and have 3 years. So don't anybody think such a thing, okay? Thank you.
Is that what they call it? No.
The memo that breaks down
Not
the
even one of you?
timeline, though, Cindy, thank you, because those were some of my questions, like, how long would this take? Days, how many? Yeah.
And Chris, I just said it's not our intent. I didn't say, no, just kidding.
It takes about 2.5 months to get the whole process.
See, the time is right, fresh off an election.
Sure,
in
sure.
advance of next year.
Good timing.
So what do we need to do? It's just something that I tell you to put on the agenda and we go from there, or does it?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
if somebody requests me to put it together, the ordinance, I'd be glad to do it and present it at the next meeting or a future meeting.
Because right now it just says discuss on here, so we don't make any motion to go ahead with it, so,
No, but I kind of get the
yeah.
general feeling that people will bring it in the ordinance form and then we can formally act on it and
Okay.
find out.
Let's do that then.
OG.
Thank you, Jim and Casey, for putting that thought process together.
Okay, next item is to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, Jim, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, but the gulp is calling me.
Roll call.
Candy Davis?
Yes.
Paul Davis?
Yes.
Burdick?
If anybody's interested, the gulp is 79 degrees. Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Langen?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
We are adjourned.
Enjoy, Jim.
That's too hot.